evening, viewers, and welcome to Time to Reason. My name is Plange. Tonight, I'm going to discuss a very important issue with my friend, my sister, and our own counselor, Ama Carr. This issue is very threatening and important because for the first time in history, Ghanaians youth have been associated with crime, and we need to address this serious issue. So stay with us and don't go away. Ama, welcome.
Thank you very much.
I believe you've also heard that recently a report has been published that Ghanaian youths are topping crime rates now in the Amsterdam Stadsdeel. So when you hear such news, knowing that we used to be like the good boys and good girls of this neighborhood, and suddenly we are being associated with crime, how does that make you feel?
Thank you very much, Abba, for having me tonight. Actually, it makes you sad because, like you said, the Ghanaians have been known for hard work. Even if you go to the point, all they associate Ghanaians as they are hard workers. They are hard workers. So our parents have made a long journey. They decided years ago, decades ago, to get out of their country, Ghana, to come to the Western world for green patches, to make a better world for ourselves. But somewhere or the other, something went wrong. Why we, the second generation and upcoming third generation, we are getting involved in some things over here which is difficult to explain. So it really touches my heart and it makes me sad, especially because me being in the government and everything. And I think we all have to search for the solution to this problem.
But how do you feel like when you are doing your best, trying to be a good citizen, trying to be a good Ghanaian like myself? I'm going to school, I'm not chasing anyone, I'm not shooting, I'm not killing, but yet still, because we are Ghanaians, when news of such breaks, we are all affected by it, and then all your hard work is not noticed anymore.
It goes in vain.
How does that make you feel?
Yeah, like I said, I think we are very sad enough. We are living in a world where when, like, I think the Moroccans are the best example of it. When something happens, they associate all of us as criminals. So when one Moroccan steals, we go like, oh, the Moroccans are thieves, which is not true. So I try to judge people individually by their character and what they do. But like I said, too bad, we are living in a world that it doesn't happen. When you are the so-called allochtone, what they call over here, a migrant, that they look at you like all migrants are bad. And especially where we are living now in a climate of politics where the right wings, the extremists like the PFF, hate builders, who are really talking and on this point, like, it's the migrants' fault that things are not going right. Look at them, you see they are stealing. And for the Ghanaians, of all people, to come to the limelight in this political hostile climate against migrants, it makes it very difficult and challenging to us, especially us in government, to how to address this situation.
Okay, so what do you think went wrong along the line? Because this is like new to us. I heard all the Ghanaian parents were complaining, oh, Ghana for the Yantisa, Ghana for the Empire, and what's how come? They do, some of us don't even believe it. So I know you have a lot of things in common with many youths. You associate yourself with them. Yeah. Have you noticed some things to which you can say because of this or that, that is why suddenly we are being involved in crime?
Yeah. It's difficult. Exactly, I know how Ghanaians parents think. It's difficult for them, some of them, especially to believe it. Especially, it may even be your child, because we have all been young before, and I know, especially when it comes to Ghanaian youth, we have two characters, because we go to church and all of those things, and because we have this strict upbringing. And at home, you are the angel, and at school and the street, you are a different person. So I know sometimes I got parents when we go to PTA meetings and the teachers will be talking about their child, and you hear the parents shaking their head, that can never be my child. They don't believe it, and they start fighting with the teacher like you discriminate and everything, because we are very good at pretending because of our upbringing, our strict upbringing. So. But it is true, there have been some figures that came out recently, and I think the police even had a dialogue with the Ghanaians at the Kandala, and all of this was said that, especially when it comes to we are talking about the boys, the males that really the rapid way that they are climbing in crime is very shocking. It's the young boys that they get associated with crime, with robbery, with all kind of things, money laundering, all kind of crime that you will never see. And even now, it's getting to the extent that we have them robbing with weapons, which makes it very scary, because we Ghanaians are known for peaceful people and being peaceful people and all of those things. So it's challenging, and I can't say that it's due to this or that makes all of this going, that makes the Ghanaian youth being associated with crime. I think it's complex. It's very complicated. It's got to do with more issues. It's not only one thing, because I think the Surinamese went through it. The Moroccan people are going through it. Still, you see that the females are doing very well in school, getting themselves highly educated, going to the HBOs and universities. When you go there, you see especially a lot of female Turkish and Moroccans, and not the males. And I think that's the same thing the Ghanaians are going through right now. You can say single parents is a problem. It is a problem. It got to do with poverty, can be a problem. And I think, like I said, it's not one thing. There have been research is done on such cases, because like the Moroccans and the Surinamese were in front of us before. We had the same problem. So there are different things that cause all of this, and I think for the Ghanaian children, it's no exception that a lot of them will go through the same thing, because now especially we are living in a world where everything is faster. We have internet, we have, like, the children, the parents are doing your best to raise your child up the best way you want him or her to grow up. But the world there is also raising up your child.
I'm very happy you made mention of how parents are bringing up their children. So that means that to some extent, parents have influence on how their children become in the long run.
Oh yeah, you are your child's role model. I always say that. You are your child's role model.
So what can a parent do to keep their children from involving themselves in crime activities, or criminal activities rather, I should say?
Well, I'm not a psychologist or anything, but I think the little I know is most of the time it's got to do with communication. Because sometimes our Ghanaian upbringing, I'm not criticizing it, I think it's good to be straight, to have respect, and to have respect for the elderly and everything. But you should not let your children fear you. Because if your children fear you and they can't talk to you, they will get advice from outside, and you may not know what that advice is. So I think you should be a parent. Of course, you should not be your child's best friend, but sometimes it's good to let your child feel like you are his or her friend, so that he or she can come to you and communicate with you on the things that the child is going through, the challenges. Because we should not forget, it's not an easy world. You being the parents being brought up in Africa, they had different challenges than we being brought up in the Western world. The challenges are heavier and faster and everything. So I think talking to your children, making yourself very available and easy for your children to come to you, is one of the things that really can help. Because when a child, children, we're growing up, we're going through adolescent age and a teenage, your body changes, everything changes. You get questions, especially the females, you get breasts, you get all, and I think your parents should be the best person for you to talk about when it comes to such things, because you as a mother or father, you can be the best advisor when it comes to your child. And I think the most, that is some of the problems we have, because especially when I'm in the train or whatever, you will see a little 2-year-old white child talking with the parents, very easy and very fluent and everything. A Ghanaian child of train. Exactly. We will hit you when you talk, because it's like exactly. And children really like asking questions. Why? Why? And we are not used to that. We see it as and all of those things. So we will hit you. And I think all of those things, we are suppressing the children as well, because in the Western world, curiosity is being seen as a good thing, as a positive thing. When a child is curious, it go like, this child will be intelligent because like asking questions. And we suppress that rather. So those are some of the things that I think I'm not a parent, but the parents can do to help their children. And another thing what I have seen, because like you said earlier, because I'm a counselor, a lot of parents call me when they have problems with their children, not because they think I'm a parent or anything, but sometimes they think I may know the answer.
Out,
yeah. And what I see is we have this, especially the young ladies and the men coming home. You have a 14-year-old coming home with an expensive bag, a Louis Vuitton, a 1,500 or 2,500, 3,000, and they will go home and they will show the parents and no questions asked.
Do they even know that this Louis Vuitton bag is even 1,500?
Some parents do, some don't. But I remember when I was a child and I was growing up, my mom, she bought all our clothes and everything. And my mom knew everything. When you came home with something that she did not buy, there will be questions.
True.
And if your answers, she does not like them, wherever you brought those things from, they are going back. I remember my mom used to be very strict. She used to like go through our bags and everything. And I thought she was, this woman cry, wahala cry. That's how I saw it. But now I'm grateful she did that, because I know she wanted the best for me. And now I see all of these children, because I talk with the young ladies and the men a lot, and all of them like going home and you hear the parents go, "Oh, me ban your life for me ban." I think that's where sometimes we should ask ourselves, because a 14-year-old, 15-year-old, where is he or she getting the money from buying those expensive clothes or designers and everything? And nowadays we have all these Blackberries and all of those things. I remember, I think when I was growing up, those days the law was like you could work when you're 15. Now they've changed it to 13. And we could not wait to work. And now I have all these young ones, and I asked them in my church and everything. I asked them, "Are you going to get a holiday job?" And they're all like, no. I'm like, "So who is paying for your Blackberry?" My mom, my dad. And there is nothing wrong with giving your child the best because you did not have it. But I think sometimes it's good for the children to appreciate it. You have to let them work for some things. If you are paying it, let the child work in the house, do chores, chores for him or her, to know that he or her has earned having a Blackberry, has earned having a Louis Vuitton, whatever. But when it comes that easy, and a child grows up and comes in the real world where things are not that easy, that's when the challenging comes, and the child thinks it's necessary for him or her to steal before he or she can get it. And I think those are some of the things that as parents you can. They are little things, but they are things that you can also do to help your child for not going astray.
Even though we're not talking about parenting here, you've said so many things that contribute to children involving themselves in crime. I used to say a lot that Ghanaian parents talk to their children, but they don't communicate with them.
It's true.
Because the communication is only one-sided. The child only has to listen and only listen, nothing else. So sometimes you don't get the chance to know what is going on in the mind of your child. So if he goes outside and he wants to unleash his frustration, he sees young people like his age stealing, doing money laundry, following people to the banks, robbing and all that. He thinks it's normal because you don't know what is in his head to correct him from what he's going to do.
True.
So by the time you find out what is actually going on in your son's life, it's already too late. And then it becomes difficult for you to believe. So like Ama is saying, I agree with you on a whole lot of, probably because I'm also a young person who grew up here, like we are on the same page here. And if you talk to so many people of our age, even younger, they feel the same way too, that it's like their parents do not understand them.
We are living in two different worlds.
Exactly. Because we have to combine our Ghanaian background and our Dutch system together, trying to please our parents and at the same time also ourselves, the society, trying to fit in and all of that. So I think the parents have a job to do here. We are pleading and we are asking to have like some understanding, a compromise for us to be able to meet ourselves in a middle way, so that we can come to you with our problems, so that you can also help us solve our problems. If not, we are going to go outside all the time, and it is going to contribute to this kind of issues we are hearing right now.
But to jump in, I think it's true the parents can do it, but we the young ones too, we should also look at ourselves.
Sure.
I think sometimes it's also our duty to correct each other, because I was grown up here, I've been through some things, and I think I can correct the young ones sometimes. So I think we should also, it's sometimes maybe it's even easier coming from somebody who is closer to your age group and than a parent or something. And I will also plead to the young ones, my age or younger and everything, especially, we should not think we know it all. Most of the time we think we know it all because we speak the language better than our parents and everything. But you should not forget that your parents, coming from wherever he or she is coming from, has made it to come here, to make a living, to get the citizenship and everything. You should respect that, especially him or her not speaking the language and having a job, offering, most of them make sacrifices for you to have a better life. So you should not think you know it all. Because most of the time that's what we think, oh, me mommy from papa cry, so because me take us so. But because you speaking the language being a barrier does not mean that your parents are stupid or whatever. And I think that is somewhere we go astray, that where we go wrong, because we always think we know better because we speak the language and our parents don't. But it's time for us also to respect our parents and to listen to them, because the fact that they don't speak the language does not mean they have not been young before. Young, everybody has been young. I hear stories from my aunties where they used to go through the windows and go to disco in Ghana. It's all the same things that we are going through here. So everybody has been young before. If you look at your mom or your dad, they have all been your age group. Did we say something in the Tree language like so I think that is what we should. It's also we should look at ourselves and we should also try to cross, because sometimes I listen to my fellow young sisters giving each other advice, and very bad advices, and I'm like, it's very wrong. You know that what the person is doing, but they're like, but I think sometimes we should correct each other. We have to speak out, and it will help.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought this up, because I think what we can also do to reduce this crime rate or these negative things going on in our community is that, you know, some people don't have their own minds. They always follow what others are doing. Obikacho say go and do this, you have to think about it and, you know, check yourself. Say, if I do this, what is going to happen to me?
Because we are money conscious.
Exactly, because I'm about a Louis Vuitton bag of 1,500, so I have to also buy a bag of 1,500 so that everybody will know something am I paying. But forgetting that life is not a competition.
That's why I say, like a parent, you are your child's best role model. Sure. Sometimes we, the parents, should also not forget that sometimes the things they do in the house or say or talk about affects the children. There is nothing wrong with building your house in Ghana and everything, but if you focus on the materialistic things too much in the house and the child being brought up in that house, that is what the child sees as normal. Yeah. That's what the child means. Okay, this life is all about building houses, getting big cars, so maybe sometimes it's best for the parents to keep that kind of life away from their children. Discuss it with your husband in the bedroom or whatever, not where the children are there, because sometimes it really affects the children. Women, we do not really believe in psychological things, but it really does. It really works. And you talking about materialistic things all the time, seeing yourself as, oh, you see that we're gonna see, the child will grow up thinking, that's what I have to do. That's what I have to do. That's what I have to do. And once the 9-to-5 job is not helping, I have to find other means and other ways to get it. So those are some things that I think the parents also have to be aware of, what you say and how you involve your child. Is sometimes I know the Madi, where they do this schoolhulpverlening, they have a conference, and I remember one of those schoolhulpverleners said, like, the budget consultant said, sometimes it's good parents do not let the children know that they have debts, like where money comes from. I think a child of 5, or sometimes it's good for the child to know where money comes from. Mom and dad earn this. You have to be open when it comes to your financial situation to your children. You should not bring all your burdens on your children, and that's not what I'm saying. tell them how much you are owing the bank. But sometimes it's good to let the children know that €1,000 comes in, 800 goes to the rent, to the electricity, goes to water, so the children know
what you can afford,
and what you can't afford. Because I remember my little brother, when he was growing up, he always used to come to, because the age difference, the gap between his sisters and him, he's the only boy. He used to come to his sisters always for things, and people ask him, "Why are you going to your sisters?" Because my mom does not have money. Because that's what my mom has been telling him all the time. My mom does not have money. My mom does not have money. So he'll go to his sisters and ask anything he wants. So I think it's very good for you to let your child know what is coming in, what the parents are earning, and what is going out, so that they know what mom and dad can afford, so that they don't have to feel bad. And you explain to them, you make them feel good about themselves. But wearing Louis Vuitton, wearing Nikes, wearing all these expensive names that I can't even pronounce, does not make you who you are.
Exactly.
I think sometimes you should always also compliment your children. We are very fan of on our child, but sometimes it's also good talking about how they look. You have beautiful eyes, and you are you. People will notice you without all of the. And I think all of this will motivate a child, makes a child feel good about him or herself, and knowing that having Louis Vuitton will not make me somebody.
Yeah. We've spoken a lot about what the parents can do, what we, the youth ourselves, can do. Let's look at our community. We have so-called community leaders. We have so many organizations. We have so many things going on in our own Ghanaian community. What can we also do to help reduce this crime rates that has been pronounced upon our Ghanaian youth? What can the community leaders do?
I think first, us talking about it is the first start. First, you have to, they always say, if you have a problem, knowing that you have a problem is the halfway already. So we should accept it, that there is a problem. There is a problem. We have these young boys getting themselves involved in criminality, and a lot of the girls are doing well. They are also going to school. They are going to universities. I always, because when I look at my brother's age, at his school, he's like the only Ghanaian boy there, but there are a lot of Ghanaian girls there, and which it really makes me sad. Like, whom are these Ghanaian girls going to get married to in the future? Because sad. If all the Ghanaian boys are in prison, whom are they going to get married to in the future? So these are some things we should look ahead. We should not look at only today. We should look at the future, the future the legacy that we are leaving behind for our children. So we should start talking about it. I think that's what the community leaders can do, all these organizations can do, start talking about and breaking taboos. I think sometimes we should also look at ourselves. We should start breaking taboos. Sometimes it is what we are doing that the children are looking at us. Sure. Sometimes it is what the full support, the way we are communicating that the children are doing what they are doing. And I know you are not popular when you talk about such things, especially when you say that you should look at it, because I always say I will look at myself first before I go to the outside world. We cannot blame the society all the time, because don't forget, your child is only a child's life that is he or she is in school. It's less than 15 to 20%. The rest, the child is with you or outside somewhere. So you get down and you see after 10 o'clock in the PM, a child of 10 walking alone on the street. If you ask the parents, so sometimes we should really, really look at ourselves. And I think, like they say, charity begins at home. So. Yeah,
true. I totally agree with you, because if we can't even accept, because when this news came, it was like a big blow to some of the Ghanaians. They were like, I don't know, no more time here in Ghanaians, we are not like that, we are this, we are. So if you don't even accept what is going wrong, there is nothing we can do about it. Probably you might say they may remember the on by 10 will fear by day, but when the person goes outside, you don't know what happens there. And even if it is true, say your child does not do that, and when they said Ghanaians, they didn't say Akosia Menuba. They said Ghanaians, so it affects all of us, those doing well and those who are not doing well. So I believe the community leaders should also stand up, help, talk to the, because probably I'm young. I grew up here. I don't have the 100% Ghanaian training in me. If I should walk up to a grown-up person or a community leader and say, do this, that probably I might offend. But if a community leader who is from the same background as the parents should go to them and talk to them on their level, like you or myself or young people or on the car, like together, they also discuss what they can do. I think two ways we could help each other to bring this crime issue down. we go to church every Sunday. So what can the churches also do to, I mean, like all corners, we need all hands on deck. So when we go to church, all we hear is God says this, God says that, God says, but I think sometimes we should talk about practical things in church as well. What can the churches do to help us, the youth in church, to also, you know, shun ourselves away from all this kind of activities?
I think you have mentioned a very, I think the churches, like we have over 100 Ghanaian churches in only Southeast alone. So the churches also have a role here to play. Like you said, talking about it. And sometimes I think the churches should give counseling to parents, counseling to the youth, because I know that a few years ago, some young Ghanaian girls got into trouble, this videotape, sexual scandals and all of those things. And that was the time that these young ladies needed people the most. They needed love, they needed affection the most. But what I know from most of them, it's like the churches were not there for them, and they all go to the church. They all go to church. So because all we know is disgraceful human being, but that is not the answer to the problem. And I think that when, especially also for the parents who, if your child the young ones have been in prison, whatever, when he or she comes back, that is when you should show love and affection the most, because don't forget, when they go there, they get hardened. Yes. So he or she does not really thinks he has nothing to lose for him to go back. So when you show affection and show love and help him or her, talk to him, and most of the pastors have a little bit of psychological background, so they can counsel these young ones. I think that's where the churches are for. That's what the churches can do the best, to help the young ones, talk with them, and instead of stigmatizing them and all of that alone does not help. I think sometimes it's our duty and our job also to help the victims, because I see them, they are young. You do things you will regret. You don't exactly. You are in love and you think he or she, whatever is telling you, is the end of the world because you don't feel love at home or whatever. And so they are victims, and I think we should help them.
I believe, Ama, we've spoken a lot about so many things. Like you've said, like I've said, we need help from all angles. We need help from everybody that is willing to give help, so that, because when they say Ghana for are there, everybody is happy. When they say Ghana for are doing this, we are all happy. But when they say Ghana for are there, no, we start shifting blames and blaming each other for way nine say. So this is the time for us to come together and try and sort out our problems. But before we bring our discussion to an end, I would like to know if the Stadsdale if that's how I should say, the Stadsdale is doing anything to also help these people who have already gone astray or are about to go astray, to get them on the right track. Yeah,
the Stadsdale is actually doing a lot. We have this counselor who goes to houses, who goes to the home, and we have when they go there, they also ask of the parents. That is, I remember we did the pay for her. We had a motion, because counselor first used to go there and only for the bills and the debts. And now we had the fordipping slack. So when they go, they should also ask about the family situation in the house, if the parents have children and the children is spouse, or what is going on, you know. So when there is an elder brother who has been in prison before, you should coach. And we have this, we have now a motion that will be implemented soon. They started cousins coaches. So we should start from the young ones. If there is an elder one who has been in problem before, you know that young ones look up to the big ones. So that's where you should also take the problem from the roots. So those are the things that the Stadsdale is doing. But we cannot only look at the Stadsdale alone. That's one thing, because like I said, we have policies. The policies, the money, the means for the policies is not enough. So we may reach some, we may not reach some. That is the thing. And I think parents, sometimes we should speak up. So we Ghanaians, we should help each other. We can help each other. We understand each other. We have this group, vice versa. Vice versa is a wonderful group who are doing Obatampa programs, and they go on the radio. I've been there a few times. I really love what they are doing, because they are talking about the taboos we have in our community we don't talk about. And I think sometimes we can create something like a platform where parents come and talk to each other, just exchanging advices, because sometimes we have this shame thing like
Yeah.
talk about it. Talk about it. You did your best, because we cannot blame the parents alone. Talk about it. What you think you did wrong, why your child or your son or your daughter went astray. I think we should talk. We should speak up. We should put the shamefulness and everything aside. And if you so we should talk about it. And I think that's what those are the things that we can do. We cannot look at the Stadsdale and the government alone, because like I said, the means, the money is not enough to reach everybody. So
you even try your best and you organize like a forum or something. People will not even come.
That is our problem.
They will not even
That's
come
the problem
to talk about it, to even find
we
solutions.
are facing. That's the problem we are facing. And even if they come, if you start 6, they will come at around 9 reception time. So that's the problem we are facing right now. So, but maybe the other 2 ladies there and we should also put our heads together and maybe organize some forums for the youth, for the young ones also, for us to put our heads together, the ones that are doing well, the ones that are not doing well, and see how we can meet each other halfway.
All right, we've spoken a lot. I know you've said a lot, I've said a lot, but before we go, can you like sum up all we've said in a form of advice, whether to the parents, to the community leaders, the churches, or the youth? Before we go?
Well, thank you again, Abba, once again for having me. Well, all I can say is we are here. We are now in a moment that is not pleasant. Like I said, the Ghanaian youth that we have always known to be the good behaviors, the one that people respect, the hardworking ones and everything, the one that do their best at school, and now is especially the boys and the young men who are getting themselves involved in criminal activities and known by the police, which is very sad. But I think we can help each other. We have to solve this problem. We have to start by looking at ourselves. What is going on in our community? Why is this going on? Like I said, I don't have all the answers. We should come together, put our head. We should unite on this, all the different kind of a cause should come and unite. We should be like one Ghanaians and talk about this and try to find solutions to it. And I think parents should also communicate with their children. I think that's the best way. Even when you think my child is or a deacon or deaconess or sorry to be bad, it doesn't matter. Still talk to him or her, try to communicate with, ask the child questions, let the child be able to express him or herself so that you know what is going on with him or her or going on in their heads. I think that is only when you know how your child is failing, that's when you can help your child. So I will please ask the churches, the community leaders, the youth, everybody, that we should join hands and join forces and see how to solve this problem.
All right. Thank you very much, Ama, and thank you also very much for watching today's edition of Time to Reason. We've said a lot, and I believe that together we can make a difference. We all don't want to be associated with bad things. We all want to go on. We all want to do well. We all want to receive the praises and the compliments. But before we get there, we need to help ourselves, get all hands on deck, and try to solve our problems ourselves. We can't always be looking at people. We can't always expect people to do everything for us and just receive. We have to get up and do something, because that's the only way change is going to come. I thank you for watching tonight. This all time will permit us. Ama, thank you once again for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate it. And I hope to see you next week this same time. Goodbye.